Hello, dear friends. I'm Marina, and I'm happy to see you today on our next webinar about how to read the birth chart and make predictions with astrology. Please let me know if everything is okay with the sound and with the picture, of course. Meanwhile, I'm opening the charts of our volunteer. So it will take a couple of seconds. Meanwhile, of course, for those who are new to our events, these are the series when we are analyzing the chart of a volunteer. We are keeping his privacy, so you shouldn't be worried about that. And if anyone wants to be a volunteer for our next sessions, you can send your birth details and a short description of your life situation, plus 2 areas that you want to be analyzed to my email. At the end of the webinar, I will write my email. So anyone is welcome to those events. I hope that they're helpful for you guys, that you are learning new things. And actually, the main idea is to help you learn the approach, how you can interpret any chart, including your own, including the chart of close people, basically everyone. All right, we are almost ready. So let me see in the chat. Okay, it looks like everything is okay with the sound and the picture. So welcome again, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Also, let me remind you that we are having our Jupiter in Sagittarius webinar on the 28th, I believe it was. So you still have time to sign up, and everyone will also get a personal report. So if you're interested, you can find the link below this video. I'm also planning to make a free webinar about Jupiter in general. I will let you know about this event probably on Saturday or Sunday, and you will be welcome to join me and ask me your questions about Jupiter. And generally, we are going to talk about interesting stuff because, of course, this is a very significant event. Jupiter entering the sign of its rulership, staying there for 1 year. It should be very positive for all of us in some way, in some area, and we are going to discuss that on the webinar. So let's dive in today's topic. Today we have a volunteer, which I will call Donna. And Donna has a couple of questions. First of all, she's pregnant. She's about to have, I believe, first child during December this year. So literally in a couple of weeks. And also she has some issues with her mother, so she wants some advices in regards to her relationship with her mother. And of course, that's very important, keeping in mind that she's about to become a mother. So of course, obviously, that's very important. And also, Donna is an artist, and she's wondering whether this is the right direction for her. So we are also going to analyze her career indications, basically what's positive for her and what kind of talents she has. The chart is quite interesting, and especially for women, I believe this would be very interesting to see, well, what kind of indications can bring pregnancy and also giving birth to a child. So are you ready, guys? Also, keep in mind, I'm really happy when you are part of the conversation. So you're welcome to type your comments or share your opinion about the indications we are discussing, or maybe even share something which you have experienced. And thank you again so much to everyone who joined me, everyone who is watching regularly those webinars. So now I will share my screen. Okay, screen sharing, confirm, and confirmed. Okay, so now I'm switching. Okay, just checking. Okay, you should be able to see my screen now. This is Donna's chart. This is Donna's horoscope. Okay, this is the chart. First, the topics we are going to analyze: career, talents, skills. In order to answer those questions, basically, we need to analyze the whole chart, or at least find some important areas in her chart. Also, I think that this time we're going to focus more on the prediction part, because I want also to go back to the time when she has conceived and to see actually what kind of indications were there during this time. Plus, of course, we're going to focus on the future. So, a brief analysis of the natal chart. What's the most significant in this chart? In my opinion, that's the bisextile that Donna has. The bisextile is a great aspect configuration, very harmonious, very supportive, also kind of soft. So this is not a configuration which will make you, well, strongly business oriented or capable of fighting or, overcoming lots of obstacles. Usually the bisextile is a great configuration for artists or creative people. Let me show you what exactly do I mean. So here she has a conjunction between Venus and Pluto, very close conjunction. They both make sextile with Neptune. Neptune makes sextile with Mars, which by the way is in conjunction with Jupiter. And those two planets, Mars and Jupiter, make trine with Venus and Pluto. So this is like a small triangle configuration, which is called bisextile. We have two sextile aspects and one trine aspect. This is a great configuration which brings incredible gifts and talents and some kind of inner potential that this person has. The key point is the apex of the configuration. In this case, that's Neptune. Neptune is one of the planets of creativity and inspiration and art. Basically, well, it can include different types of art areas, like music, like painting, basically everything which is beautiful, everything which is creative. Also, the other planets which are included, Venus and Mars, which are connected with an exact trine. This is also aspect which is great for artists. Very often those people are great dancers. They can do also something with their hands sometimes, and they can create something beautiful. So this bisextile here, Neptune, Mars, and Venus, is great for someone who is an artist. Pluto brings even more power to this combination, can make her really passionate about those things. And Jupiter expands all of those things, plus can add some ambition, some desire for success, and eventually can bring success as well. So, my opinion is that this woman is very talented, has great indications to be an artist. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that it will come easy, because first of all, the main or the dominant element in her chart is water. She has 6 planets in water signs. Generally, for an artist, this is great. It brings, more emotions. It makes people more intuitive, more creative. But the challenge sometimes is that those people are not well grounded, especially when Neptune is in such a key position, such a strong position. Plus the moon is in Pisces in 8th house. This woman may not be well grounded, not so practical, not so in touch with reality, which is a very common problem or issue for artists. They may struggle with discipline, with organizing their work, or focusing for long enough on something to achieve success. Sometimes this can bring possible laziness, or some kind of distraction, like the person is incapable of concentrating in only one direction. So this might be one of the issues, that she has too much water. But on the other side, she has also three planets in fire signs. The Sun, Uranus, and Saturn are together in a very powerful stellium. The fire energy can help her to take action. Plus, the ascendant is in Leo. What's interesting about this stellium? Saturn and Uranus, which are not friends, basically, these planets are completely different. And technically, they are not in conjunction. The orbits between Saturn and Uranus is 10 degrees, which is not enough. This is, two large orbits. But because the Sun is in the middle, it connects the Saturn and Uranus. So basically, we have a stellium. And from one side, Saturn brings the need for certainty, for security, for stability. It can bring fear of changes sometimes. It can make the person capable of restricting himself and following some kind of rules which are suppressing himself. And on the other hand, we have Uranus, the planet of people who are, revolutionizing things, people who need variety, who need changes, who are different from others. So basically, we can see a very strong inner contradiction influenced by this stellium, the Sun in the middle between Saturn and Uranus. So on certain level, this may feel quite stressful. But on the other hand, this is what can help someone to materialize the inspiration. So from one side, Uranus can help this woman to have this incredible, exciting ideas or some kind of untraditional approach or whatever it is, her art is. And at the same time, she can materialize that, she can put this into a concrete form. That's what Saturn can help her. So in this horoscope, I see a great potential. And also, this stellium is in conjunction with the cusp of fifth house. Fifth house is the house of creativity. Plus, Neptune is here as well. So, in my opinion, this woman is a born artist. She's creative, she's talented, she has gifts. What she needs to work on is probably more discipline, more having concrete goals, and to be capable of doing the needed work. Because if you are concentrated on areas which are ruled by Neptune, you may struggle with materializing them, because Neptune is not a material planet. That's why creative people very often struggle with the material reality. They tend to have some kind of addictions or other ways to escape from reality, very common case. So what she really needs to work on is to be more grounded, to be in touch with reality, to be more practical, to work on her daily routines, having, the schedule, the final goal. And we can see also North Node in Aries in ninth house, which shows her life mission or her task. Aries is a sign is related to being independent, being proactive, initiating things, being independent as well. And also, ninth house is about our goals, our future, our belief system. So for Nona, I think that one of the most important things is for her to learn to define her own beliefs. So, not to listen to other people, what someone is saying or believing in. She has to create her own beliefs or values, what's important to her, and also to have a clear vision for the future. What is it that she wants to achieve? Let's say some goes for 3 years ahead, another goes for 10 years, because very often we are so focused on our current situation, thinking about, how to handle with things, going back to our future and memories, and we are not paying enough attention to our future expectations and what we want to achieve. So for Donna specifically, this is very important, I believe. And when it comes to her mother or relationship or family issues, of course, the moon is very important in this case. Her moon is in Pisces in 8th house. So we can see from this position that, first of all, she can be very sensitive, very emotional, very fragile in some cases. And also, she may dramatize things more than necessary. She may just see things from a very negative perspective, and sometimes it can make her more pessimistic. Fears can also be quite intense with this position. But on another level, we can also see that there is a strong connection between her and her mother. Um, I think that it's always for everyone, this is very important to solve the issues with our parents. Sometimes we cannot be friends with our parents. Sometimes we need to, cut the relationship and move, in our future. But it's always important to forgive them for what they have done. Not usually, always actually, parents do what they are capable of doing. And some people are just not capable of being the parent that we want to have. And we have to accept that. And for everyone, I think it's important to accept the idea that the only thing that we are allowed to require from our parents is actually the gift of our life. If we get anything, something else, it's great, like love, like support, like, finances or other material stuff, that would be great. But if our parents were not able to provide that, we still need to be grateful for the fact that they have given us the gift of life. I think it's a very healthy way to handle with different situations. And here we can see the moon has a square with Uranus, which also brings, well, emotional instability. Probably the mother in some way has been emotionally unstable. And in some way, this is also part of Donna. The mother and the father are always represented in our psychic. And we need to put some conscious efforts in order to work with that. But forgiving her mother, accepting her for what she is, I think would be really helpful for Donna about her future role as a mother. Because no one is perfect, and sometimes people just do what they can. Actually, we always do only what we can. All right. So yeah, it's visible that there might have been some difficult situations with the mother, because the moon is in 8th house, because the moon is squared by Uranus. We mentioned that Uranus is in conjunction with Saturn, so it also means that Saturn squares the moon indirectly, which is another challenging aspect. Plus, we have Scorpio on the cusp of 4th house. All of those things can bring challenges, abusive relationships, controlling mother, manipulative mother, and that can really be true. But as we said, the only way to solve the situation and to set ourselves free is to forgive and to accept. So that's my advice for this situation. And now now I would like to move to, well, let's begin with the transits. Let's look at the transits. And if you allow me, if you don't mind, I would like to go back a little bit back to see the indications, to show you the indications which were related to conceiving. First, just to make clear which indications you need to analyze. For example, if you want to find out when you can get pregnant or when you can have a child and so on. First of all, the moon. For women, the moon is the indication or the planet related to motherhood. So the moon is always important. The other the other indications are fifth and eighth house. Fifth house is related to our children, literally our children, and eighth house is related to conceiving. So eighth house also is very important, and keep in mind that conceiving but also giving birth is something very specific. Especially giving birth, this is, a state when there is a complete transformation. This is a very specific experience, and that's why eighth house is also included. So we need to find something triggering her moon, something triggering her fifth and eighth house. And if we can find all of the indications, of course, it would be great. So is it clear, guys? Can you please write in the comments if those things are clear? We have a question. How do you read the MC in Taurus? Is that a grounding influence for her creative career? Yes, that would be helpful. She has earth signs on the three career houses. Earth signs, which can help her in this direction. And also it suggests that she needs some level of stability in this area. Okay. So I know that for women, this will be an interesting topic to talk about children and getting pregnant, something wonderful for, well, most of the women. All right, let's see. So what I know is that she is expecting her child during December. So when is the possible conceiving? Let me calculate. So December, November, October. Well, it should be approximately April or March, if I'm not making a mistake. Well, let's say the spring of 2018. Let's go back to the spring. Okay, so first at the end of 2017, we see that Jupiter has made trine with her natal Jupiter. First of all, Jupiter rules her fifth house, something we are interested in. Second of all, Jupiter rules also eighth house and is in conjunction with the cusp of eighth house. So this is a very positive indication that probably she has wanted to have a child, or she was more focused in this direction, possibly also bringing positive events related to her home, because Jupiter was about to enter fourth house as well, actually the beginning of January 2018. Okay, then Jupiter makes another trine with her natal Jupiter around May, June, the end of May and June. We have the second trine, so also very positive indication for conceiving. And the third time it has happened is August 2018. So great indications. We can see that during the summer, Mars has been retrograde in her sixth house. So probably it has brought some kind of issues with her career, or maybe she wasn't able to work so much, or, well, yeah, another topic. Let's see. Plus, another thing is that the transit Neptune, during the spring of 2018, the transit Neptune has been in conjunction with the cusp of 8th house. Neptune very often works in our prediction when we conceive. Neptune is a planet which can bring you pregnancy. Neptune triggering your 5th house, Neptune triggering your 8th house, Neptune triggering your moon, or the rulers of 5th and 8th house, or planet staying in those houses. And keep in mind, not only the positive aspects, a square can also bring you pregnancy. If you have a square or an opposition, for example, we can expect that there might have been some kind of stress related to this event, or sometimes it's unexpected, or other scenarios. But Neptune definitely brings pregnancy. So as we can see, a little bit before that, Neptune has been in conjunction with Jupiter and also makes conjunction with the cusp of 8th house. Plus it squares the Sun. The Sun is in conjunction with the cusp of 5th house. So basically we have a very strong activation of her 8th and 5th house. Strong enough to expect that this is possible. Now, you can also see, by the way, that Saturn is in 5th house. And this is one evidence that Saturn transiting certain house doesn't mean that nothing positive will happen in this area. Saturn transiting your 7th house doesn't mean you cannot get married. Saturn transiting your 5th house does not mean that you cannot have a child. Of course, it doesn't mean that, everything is a party and everything is fun. Probably she is looking really serious on that topic of becoming a mother, of having a child. She may have some kind of worries. That's what Saturn can bring. And also, 5th house is not only children, but this is also entertainment and having fun, plus creativity and art are here. So it's very possible that she might have felt stuck in her creative work, maybe uninspired or with no, clear opportunities about work, about creativity. Also, there might have been less parties, less entertainments, but that's something very typical when you get pregnant. So actually, that's completely normal. So Saturn in her 5th house is not a problem for her to get pregnant. Plus, in this case, it's very important that Saturn doesn't make any challenging aspects. For example, if Saturn squares the moon or Saturn squares the ruler of 5th house, in this case, we can expect some kind of challenges. But Saturn moving through your 5th house is not something bad. Okay, so let me show you quickly also the progressions during this time, so you can see what can bring pregnancy. Here, April and May after that. First of all, the progressed moon is in Taurus. This is a positive position for the moon if you want to get pregnant. Cancer, Taurus, they're very feminine signs. They are great for having children. Plus, we can see the progressed moon has made trine with her Sun and Mercury. The progressed Sun is in conjunction with the cusp of progressed 5th house. And all of those things are very positive, actually. And of course, progressed moon makes sextile with Jupiter. So basically, we have a progressed bisextile, which can bring, some kind of positive events, including related to her relationship or, other partnerships. So I think this situation looks quite positive. And what's interesting is that the progressed moon has been in conjunction with her natal MC approximately around this period. So probably there was also some kind of change regarding her career. And also, progressed moon has made quincunx with her progressed Saturn, which is the ruler of sixth house. So probably there was a significant change in career around this time, or generally about her worldview, her life direction, and so on. So I think that it's quite visible here, the situation which is related to conceiving. Progressed moon in Taurus, making trine with the sun, with Mercury, which are in conjunction with the cusp of fifth house, plus Jupiter also brings, abundance, growth, happiness, opportunities. Okay, so now let's go ahead. Let's move to the current moment. So this is how her chart looks like during October, so right now. What we can see is that the transit Jupiter is currently making trine with her natal moon. This is a very positive aspect. This is a short aspect at the same time because Jupiter currently is moving really fast. So literally in a couple of weeks, I believe it was the 8th of November, Jupiter enters Sagittarius. But anyway, this is great because currently Jupiter is in her fourth house. Fourth house is also important for our family, for our home. It brings abundance. Very often, if Jupiter transits your fourth house, it can either bring you a bigger place where you can live, or it can bring a new family member, or someone you have been living together with may move away. Just an example. So Jupiter in fourth house is great, trining her moon, also very supportive. Also, I want to mention something here. So we know that the baby is expected somewhere during December. We don't know the exact date. And even if we know, when it's expected, it doesn't mean that it will be born on this day. But look how interesting is that. The transit sun is about to be in her fifth house around the period when she's about to have a child. It's a very common case, the sun or the ascendant of your child to fall in your fifth house. So I would say it's more possible that the child will be born around the second half of December when the sun is already in fifth house. It's not a general rule, but very, very often. For example, I have Scorpio on the cusp of fifth house, and Pluto is in my fifth house as well. The ascendant of my daughter falls exactly in conjunction with my Pluto in Scorpio in fifth house. And I have noticed similar indications in many cases. So the sun or the ascendant of your child can fall in fifth house. Okay, so what's happening during December, the period when the baby is expected? Let's start from the beginning of the month. So first of all, we see that Neptune is still in conjunction with Jupiter. Actually, this is a positive aspect. It's for pregnancy. This is a positive aspect. But also Neptune squares her Saturn. Saturn rules her sixth house, so probably things related to career are complicated at this point, or unclear, or she's confused about her career direction. That's completely normal, and it has started some time ago, so this is not a brand new transit. And actually, it's quite normal. When you're expecting a child, you cannot commit fully to your career. That's, well, All of the women who have children can confirm that. Also, we can see Saturn makes sextile with her Venus and Mars. That's a positive combination, which can make her partner more responsible. Saturn making aspect with Mars, which is in seventh house, can make the partner more responsible. The aspect with Venus basically is not so related to her child. So let's see, are there other aspects? Okay, around the middle of December, the transit Jupiter is about to make square with Mars. Let's see. Mars is in conjunction with Jupiter, which is in conjunction with the cusp of 8th house. So in some way, it's also related. And the squares of Jupiter, sorry, the squares from Jupiter are not negative. This is not Saturn. This is not limiting. Of course, there are some specific things, but even Jupiter squaring your moon can bring you pregnancy or having a child. So we are not worried. Okay, around the end of the month, so from the 24th of December, the transit Mars will make conjunction with her moon for a couple of days, which can also bring a lot of action. If the baby is born around this period, we can expect that she didn't mention if this is about to be a natural birth or a C-section, but with Mars, sometimes it could be a C-section, or if not, then, the birth can be really fast. But anyway, in some way, this is triggering the same area. So basically, there are no bad or challenging aspects around the period when she's about to give birth. Let's look the progressed chart as well. So this is the progressed chart. Let me see, during December. So is there something significant? So of course the moon is still in Taurus. The moon makes a karmic aspect with Neptune, which can also bring, well, some kind of intense events related to home, because Neptune is in fourth house. So it's quite intense actually to have a child. Let's see. Okay, and also the progressed moon will make sextile with the natal moon. You can see it here clearly. So here is the progressed moon, 26 degrees in Taurus, and makes sextile, or begins the sextile. This aspect will last approximately 3 months, with the natal moon, which is in 8th house. So we definitely have the moon and 8th house activated during this time. So I would say very positive indications, very happy event for, well, for every woman. Now let's see what other things are about to happen in general about her career, about her life. With Saturn in her 5th house, we also need to, to advise the woman to try to let go of her fears. It's quite normal for women, especially if that's the first child, to be afraid. Are there going to be good mothers? Is everything going to be okay with the child, with the birth, after that, with the taking care, with providing for the family and everything? The more fears you have, the more negatively it affects your child. I have seen this so many times. Women who are constantly afraid for their children, they attract something, bad to happen. Not necessarily something dangerous, but very often those child are getting ill frequently, or have some kind of issues. So here it's very important for the mother to release her fears, to to open up for a new beliefs, to try to be as positive as possible, to try to trust that there is a force which is protecting her. It's very important. Okay, we are moving to 2019, when Donna is going to take care of her child. She mentioned that she is planning to stay at least 1 year with her baby, taking care of him. Okay. We can see during 2019, when Jupiter enters Sagittarius, of course, it will make conjunction with her stellium. So this should affect her really positively. She may find a new inspiration, even though she will probably take care of her child. She may still find energy for something creative, something related to her art. So I also would encourage her to to keep moving in this direction. Becoming a mother, in my opinion, doesn't mean that you should forget about anything else. Actually, it's not healthy for you and for your child, and even for the family in general. My honest opinion is that. So, with Jupiter in Sagittarius in conjunction with her stellium, of course, she can feel more inspired. She may start new things. There might be new opportunities. And she may really enjoy the process of being a mother, especially after Jupiter enters fifth house around March 2019. Then it goes back to fourth house for a while. And what's interesting that around March 2020, Jupiter and Pluto are both entering sixth house in conjunction with the cusp of sixth house. We can see also Saturn is here, even Mars is here. So I would say that probably the spring of 2020 will bring some really significant change in terms of her work, daily routines, and everything. And it's quite possible that she may start working more around this period, so the spring of 2020. Okay, what's also interesting, during 2020, Uranus is about to make opposition with her Venus and Pluto, which are in third house. Now, in the natal chart, Venus rules third house, Pluto rules fourth house. These are the two houses which are active when you move to another place. And because Uranus is in ninth house, it's really possible that there might be an opportunity for her to move to a new place, to change her home, or even to relocate. This connection, third, fourth, and ninth house, is very typical for relocation. So there are really high chances for that during 2020. Now let's look also the progressions. Let's find out what's happening here. Okay, May 2019, the progressed moon enters Gemini. After that, the moon will stay in Gemini for 2 years and a half. This is a great period for learning new things, for creating new contacts, for improving her skills. Plus, we can see that the progressed moon will make sextile with Mars. So we can guess that there might be some new opportunities for her around May 2019 as well. Not only May, but also June and July. And look what's happening here. If the progressed moon makes opposition with Venus around the summer of 2019. This opposition sometimes also indicates traveling or learning something. Because look, Venus rules the progressed ninth house. So probably this can be a time when she may also decide to go back to school or to finish some kind of training or, well, to learn something on her own. Even though she's still taking care of her child, that's an option. And let's see what's happening during 2020. 2020, Mercury makes sextile with her Jupiter. This is a positive aspect both for traveling and for learning. So this will definitely be an option for her during 2019. Plus, progressed moon will make opposition with Saturn, which is in conjunction with the cusp of fourth house. This can also bring change related to her home or moving to another place. Okay, let me also look here. In the situation. So yeah, I think that 2020 can bring those new opportunities for her. Plus, after all, the progressed moon is in 10th house. So career can be definitely an option for her. Okay, guys, so I hope it was helpful for you to see some indications related to conceiving, to getting pregnant. I hope it was helpful for Donna as well. This analysis of her chart. Now, let me go back to you and look at your comments. Okay, we are back now. Okay, so do you have some kind of thoughts related to those topics? Someone else asks whether there isn't a mistake. I contacted the person who we are analyzing the chart of. So if you haven't received an email from me, then it's not you. Yeah, somebody else confirms that their child's ascendant falls in their fifth house. It's very, very typical. Okay. Do you have some kind of questions? Was there anything that you want to be clarified? Oh, and to remember to share with you the email. No, everyone can be a volunteer. Of course, I cannot do the chart for everyone. I'm picking up one person for those webinars. If you want to be a volunteer, you can send your birth details, including your accurate time of birth. It's very important to have this information. Two main areas of your life that you want to be analyzed and a short description of your life situation. Let me write my email here. It's Marina at Marstars. Stars.net. You can send the information to this email. And also, don't forget, you still have time to join our Jupiter in Sagittarius webinar and get a personal report. The link is below this video. And I will let you know about the free webinar about Jupiter. Anne has a question. Is Venus sextile Mars also as good for dancers? No, it's not the same. No, this can be a great aspect. Venus sextile Mars. Sorry, I thought it was Mercury. Yes, of course, that's great as well. Any aspect between Venus and Mars can be related to dancing, even the squares. So yes, that's also great. Of course, the conjunction as well. Thanks to everyone who joined me today. Thank you guys so much. I'm trying to be helpful. I hope I am. I'm planning some surprises, so I will keep you posted about some events during November, which are completely free, by the way. And hopefully, we're going to continue with our episodes about how to read the birth chart and make prediction with astrology. You're welcome to be a volunteer. If you want to have a personal reading with me, you can also sign up for one. You can order from the link below this video. Okay, so thank you very much again. And I hope you're going to have a wonderful day. Thanks and bye-bye.